Hey everyone! On today's Veggie Prep Basics video, I'm going to show you how to take a whole head of broccoli and cut it up without a mess into perfect little sized pieces for stir fries, roasting, salads, basically however you want to eat it. Okay, so we have our broccoli here. It's already been washed. It's ready to go. The first thing we're going to do is remove this rougher end right here. So this part is going to be a little bit tough. You can use it for some preparations, but most of the time you're not going to. So we're going to cut it off, and I like to cut it off right where it starts to branch into the broccoli tops right there, into the bigger kind of stems. So I'm going to cut it right there and just discard this piece. And now we have truly the head of broccoli. So I'm going to separate the broccoli by these kind of big branches. So I'm just going to cut them off like that. How you cut it is all going to be dependent on how you want to cook it and how you want to eat it. So if you are going to be roasting broccoli, you want it to be kind of big, maybe about this big, because if it's too small, it's probably going to get burnt before it really cooks well. So make them bigger if you want to roast them, but if you want to saute them, they can be this big, but they can also be a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut down on the little stem there, and then we have this nice little floret. And I think it's kind of nice to have broccoli cut into small pieces, so you can just go ahead and put the whole thing right in your mouth, take one bite, instead of having to cut it into multiple pieces or chop off a big chunk of the broccoli. Again, we're just going to go through like that, cut off some of these stem pieces, which are great. They're totally edible and awesome. Then, if I want to cut this piece into smaller pieces, instead of doing this where we have all these little broccoli pieces falling all over the cutting board, which makes a mess and then we're not eating that, what I like to do instead is cut right until, so cut through this stem part right almost till I get to the little florets there, the little leafy guys, and then split it apart like that. So this way, we're not cutting through all the little pieces. They're not getting onto the cutting board, and we're really preserving the broccoli so we can eat it. I'll do it a couple more times so you can see. The smaller that you cut them, the quicker that they will cook. So here we have a bunch of broccoli florets. If we were to saute these would be ready to go in probably about 5 minutes, so pretty quick cooking. If we cut them even smaller, it could take even less time. So if you want a quicker cooking broccoli, quicker meal, cut your vegetables a little bit smaller. It's your little quick tip. So broccoli is also awesome, of course, in salads, and when I incorporate it into salads, I like to cut it into smaller pieces, and here's a way that I would do that. So we have the rest of our broccoli here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half using that same kind of splitting method so I'm not making a mess, and then I'm just going to kind of cut down there, cut it into strips, and I'll take one, and then I'm going to cut it like pretty fine. And I'm going to cut it all the way up to where the little pieces start to fall apart like that. And this way, it really creates this nice little tiny bites of broccoli to incorporate into your salad. So again, it's like this. I'm going to hold it again with my fingers like a little claw on the floret part. And I'm going to cut it all the way up to where it starts separating. And I'm not making a mess. They're not flying everywhere. I'm not cutting into them, but they are creating these tiny little florets, which are really nice to add to salad. So here we have all these small little pieces, and these are awesome not only for salad, but also to saute super quick and add to your eggs. So you can add them to your scrambled eggs or to your omelet, and because they're nice little pieces, they incorporate really well into the eggs, and yeah, they're an awesome way to add vegetables into breakfast.